Shalom, Eliyokim Cohen, Jews News Briefs, June 16th, 2011, the 14th day of Sivan on the Hebrew calendar. We have a completely mediocre show today. No, I'm just saying if you're paying attention. Here's our theme song from David Dome. That never gets old. Last night I was in Jerusalem for the lights show. It was a free light show. They were beaming lights onto all these old buildings. It was one of the coolest things ever. There were thousands and thousands of Jews united, walking down it was broken up into different colors, walking the paths of the different colors, walking to places in the old city that, people just won't go for either safety concerns or other things that really shouldn't be there at all. And it was an absolutely beautiful thing. I'm not sure if it's there tonight, but if it is, I recommend that everybody gets out there. It was an absolutely phenomenal way to spend the night. All right, our sponsor today is CUOnShabbos.com. They will provide you with a Shabbos host pretty much anywhere in the world. I'm not sure if you go to Antarctica, there'll be one there, but literally virtually every country in the world is represented here. It's an unbelievable website, so please check them out. All right, I've got Grains of Sand by Schiffer Shomron. I hope you've bought this book by now. This is an absolutely phenomenal book. I've been reading a quote a day from this. So here's today's quote. I want a miracle so bad that I can almost convince myself that there will be one. If there isn't a miracle, then all this which is precious and mine and seeped with memories will be destroyed. My God, how can it be destroyed? It doesn't seem possible that all the synagogues, houses, gardens, and schools will be destroyed, that this lovely oasis will reduce to dry grains of sand. I've mentioned this every single day, how 9,000 Jews were ripped out of their homes, literally forced out by force. That's what forced out means. By their own people, by the army, by the border patrol, by the police, by the government. An absolute, probably one of the biggest black marks in the history of the Jewish people. And they want to do it again. They want to do it again on a level that's like 10, 12 times as many people. We need to wake up. Everybody needs good Jewish news so we can stay united with truth. So please keep sharing this link. All right, today in Jewish history, in 1952, the Diary of Anne Frank, Diary of a Young Girl, is published in the United States. Anne Frank is probably the cutest Jewish girl that ever lived. She just, beams purity. Her life was ended shortly by monstrous enemies that still exist in this world. So on this day in 1952, her diary was published. All right, a Jewish quote of the day is a great one. A bird that you set free may be caught again, but a word that escapes your lips will not return. Meaning, God gave us two barriers for speech. One is our teeth, and the other is our lips. So we need to make sure that what we're saying actually, isn't detrimental, because speech kills. They say when you embarrass someone, if you shame someone, and it doesn't meet the requirements when you're able to do that, it's like taking a life. That's how important speech is. Everyone has to make sure that we're using our speech properly. All right, I'm going to postpone the Torah tidbit to a little bit later in the show because I want to do an extended Torah tidbit. So let's dive right into our top story. And I'll be honest, there's not much happy news today. My friend's going to be a little disappointed. I scoured the internet this morning, didn't really find much. I have one happy time segment, but if there's not happy news in the world, I have to say the not happy news because Jews need to wake up. We're really struggling as an entity right now, and this is one of the reasons. So here's the top story. Quote-unquote, non-violent Arabs and leftists break a soldier's leg. You're probably thinking, what in the world? Did the soldier kill every single person there? No, because we never do. So let me go a little bit deeper. Arabs and leftists, they unite. Arabs and Jewish leftists unite to harm their own people, mind you. They hurled rocks at IDF soldiers in the southern Samaria area on Wednesday, breaking the leg of one of the soldiers. But everyone says, oh, rocks don't hurt. But they broke the leg of one of the soldiers. They continued to pummel him with rocks after he fell to the ground. What is that called, people? It's called attempted murder. So what did the soldiers that were around do? They came to his rescue. And you're probably saying, yeah, the IDF, they probably killed everybody there. If everybody means birds, then yes, we probably did kill everybody there. Because the only group on Earth that has any claim on the IDF is like the International Association for Birds. Because we fire more shots into the air than probably killed. You know, if you see birds flying out of the sky, it means that we're using restraint, non-lethal weapons. This is pathetic. So the soldiers came to their friend's rescue and began pew-pew, pew-pew, you know, like Nintendo Duck Hunt, firing into the air. The Arabs did not heed their calls to stop the attack, so the soldiers proceeded to fire at the Arabs. Where do they fire? You know, the legs, the hips, shoot their kneecaps, you know, don't do anything to kill your enemies. You guys know how much this bothers me. And I'll continue to say this on every show, you know, until the end of time, until something changes. Because rocks kill people. Rocks killed my very good friend's little cousin, infant cousin. Rocks have killed numerous other people. Rocks have given Jews in this country brain damage. Rocks have done just about everything that rocks are supposed to do because rocks hurt people. You know, throwing sand in someone's eye, fine. Throwing rocks, they broke a soldier's leg, that wasn't enough. They continued to pelt him with rocks when he was on the ground. I'm glad Ralph is here with me because I don't think there's anything on earth that makes me want to throw up more than seeing our quote-unquote defense forces, security forces being everything but. The IDF is a joke. IDF leadership is a joke. The individual soldiers are fine. You know what what's it called? The rules of engagement are in the IDF. You literally have to have a knife like halfway in your head before you're allowed to fire back. My neighbor told me that if someone throws a Molotov cocktail at you, you're not allowed to shoot them in the army. Why? Because the Molotov cocktail has already left their hand. Meaning at that point, they're defenseless. They have nothing in their hand. They just tried to kill you with a Molotov cocktail, and you're not allowed to do anything. That's the rules of engagement. And the soldiers are afraid. The soldiers are afraid to do anything, which is why, you know, we're the world's biggest duck hunters. I mean, this happens all over Israel. You see this all the time. This stuff kills. And this insanity has to stop before I have an aneurysm and before I pick up my computer and I throw it right through your screen. Alright, so that's my top story. I know it's a mediocre one, but it's important, so I'm going to keep saying it because we need to hear the truth of what's going on in this world. So on yesterday's show I talked about the Gaza water park. These poor, oppressed people now have a loop-de-loop slide. So I had a couple quotes from that. Somehow I'm not surprised in the least. The theory of oppression is simply propaganda. If Gaza could have a water park and mall that opened recently, then they are not so oppressed like people think. Yes, there's poverty, but that's because the group Hamas doesn't help its people, instead they choose to shoot rockets. I have a very brilliant audience, and I would like everybody to keep commenting on these things so I can read them on the show, because this is our new show, people. This is Jews News for the Jewish people. So comment on today's thing. What do you think about, again, nonviolent restraint being used against enemies literally coming to kill our own soldiers, mind you. Alright, so in more, insanity with the police and the military, Arabs came and destroyed like a Jewish grove like they always do. And they came and attacked the people that were there, protecting the grove. And as usual, when the cops came, an Arab woman told her young child to get down on the ground and look like he's been hurt. So they arrested the Jews, as usual. This is just insanity, people. If you have any idea of the frustration level that goes through my body when I read these things, it's just a never-ending story. This is a right-wing country. This, by and large, is a smart country. We have the worst police, the worst military leadership, absolutely the worst court system in the history of the world. So if you're saying, oh, see, this is why I don't move to Israel, wrong. This is what should make you move to Israel so that you can change these things. And if you're not going to do that, then don't complain. I don't ever want to hear a complaint, on this or on my Facebook page. If you're not living in Israel and you don't like the things that are going on, come here and change it. Every vote counts. Every Jewish soul that comes here adds an infinite amount of spirituality to this country. So come here, because a lot of people are coming here. The right people are coming here, and we are making a difference. This country is moving right to the right. This Knesset is the most right-wing ever. So please come and get here. Alright, so apparently in Holland and elsewhere in Europe, they're debating whether or not to ban Jewish kosher slaughter. Meaning, most Jews just won't be able to eat. Like, if you want to eat meat in Holland after they do this, you're either going to have to break the law, which everyone's probably going to do, or you're just not going to be able to eat meat, which, I don't know if you ever know anything about Jews, but take meat away from Jews on Shabbat, and they're not happy campers. It's like, taking food away from a bear. So, you know what would be interesting? Since all these European countries want to ban the way that Jews eat food, wouldn't it be weird if God punished them right now with, like, I don't know, what's that thing called? Like E. coli? Or something in their food? Don't mess with the Jews. Because any country that does mess with the Jews, things like this tend to happen. E. coli is running rampant in Europe right now. And coincidentally, it happened at the same exact time that all this kosher slaughter stuff is coming front and center. And then there's other parts of the world that are trying to ban circumcision. So do you think that God's just going to let that go unpunished? I don't think so. So stay tuned for more episodes, because I can almost assure you at some point I'll be saying the punishment for what's happening in San Francisco. So now the European Parliament, if they haven't done enough against the Jewish people, they're now saying that East Jerusalem should be the quote-unquote Palestinian capital. What they don't mention is that to the world, East Jerusalem encompasses North, East, and South Jerusalem. If you get a map out and you see these places that Jews are planning on building, and the world just gets outraged, oh my God, they're building a kindergarten, you'll see that they're not in the East. They're in like the exact northern part of Yerushalayim. So this should show you how hateful the world is to the Jewish people. That even when they allow us to have everything other than East Jerusalem, it really only means the little sliver of West Jerusalem. Europe's in for a big tush whooping. I hope everybody knows that. The world is slowly but surely like forming around Israel. There's prophecies galore that say this. The world hates the Jews. Like I said before, it's not just Israel. We need to smarten up, and we need to do it fast. And before I throw up and have an aneurysm, I'm going to go to my happy time segment. Alright, Israel's apparently broke their defense export record. $7.2 billion of exports that we just gave to the world, making us the fourth largest defense exporter. We're the country the size of, like, New Jersey, and we're the fourth biggest defense exporter. And you know what? I don't think we should give the world anything until they smarten up and actually treat us with a little bit of respect. Alright, something that bothers me about Prime Minister Netanyahu is now he's saying that they fear that the Jews living over the Green Line in the areas of Jerusalem, they will lose their legitimacy to live there if the quote-unquote Palestinians declare a state. Why? You just told Congress that it's the undivided capital. Why would you say something in public like that? You know, I'm so sick of Israeli leaders, voicing concerns and fears, and we're a strong people. Look what we've overcome. I want to do my tour tidbit now before I pass out. Alright, so last night there was a lunar eclipse. The Jews are compared to the moon. And our, arch spiritual enemy, Egypt, in pretty much all the secular world, is compared to the sun. Why? The sun is static. When you look at the sky, you're not going to see anything different about the sun. It's a big circle at all times. What about the moon? Why is the moon considered, kin to the Jewish people? Why? Because sometimes it's full, sometimes it's shrinking, sometimes it's growing, sometimes it's not there at all. No matter what happens in Jewish history, the moon will always renew itself. The moon will always come back. The moon changes. The moon has meaning, like the Jewish people. So, last night, what happened? The earth got in the way of light in the moon. So my thought, this did not come from a rabbi, so if you think it's wrong, don't say, oh, your rabbi's an idiot. The earth got in the way of the moon. The earth got in the way of the Jewish people. Meaning, material things, this world, your stupid reality shows, are getting in the way of your potential as a Jew. And we need to stop letting that happen, because the moon is a beautiful thing, and so are the Jewish people. It renews itself all the time. It never disappears, just like our Jewish brethren. So that was our show. Hope everybody had a great listening experience. Remember, it's not news unless it's true news.